Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Hey, yo. This is Scatterbrain, the Ray Bradford podcast. Of course, I am your host, Ray Bradford. We back for another bass lesson. I told y'all last lesson we were coming back to work on, guess what? We were coming back to work on pentatonic scales. And how you can apply them and use them in your bass playing, bass groove. Everything we going over right now is just for your bass grooves, bass lines. It's not for soloing. Even though we could talk about some soloing concepts, and a lot of these concepts you could even apply to. You could even apply to your soloing, but right now we just want to apply them to bass grooves and bass lines, which is basically the same thing, but sometimes it's a little difference in those. So we want to jump straight in. Of course, we all know you have a relative minor and a relative major, right? So if I'm in G, the relative minor of G is E minor. And basically those, you could have before I even go that far, you have a major pentatonic, so let's do G major pentatonic, which is 5 notes. 5 notes. Of course, if you know penta, 5. So it's 5 notes. And that's 2 of those notes that I'm playing are the same, the octaves. But other than that, it's 5 notes. G, A, B, D, E. Then back to G. And then you can play it 2 octaves if you want to. That's 2 octaves. You have that's the major pentatonic. But if I wanted to play G minor pentatonic, it's G, B flat, C, D, F, G. Again, that's G, B flat, C, D, F, G. And you can play that 2 octaves as well too. So wrong finger. And that's your 2 octave version, right? 2 octave version of the pentatonic scale. But if you're in a key signature, you always have a relative. If you're in a major key center, if we're in G major, you have a relative minor, which is E minor. In this case, which is for those who grew up in the gospel world, you know about the number system or whatever. You know 1, 2, and the number system correlates with basically each scale degree. So if you got G is 1, A is 2, B is 3, C is 4, 5 is D, 6 is E, 7 is F sharp, and then 8, which you never call 8, you'll just say 1 again, is G. Now, if you're talking extensions, I don't hear keyboard players do this a lot, but extension-wise, you could say 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, and so on. You know what I'm saying? Extension-wise. Well, the extensions won't go that high, 14. You probably won't never say 14. You'll probably stop at 13, because you got your sharp 11s, your sharp 9s, your sharp 5. You got all these type of things, right? Ooh, man, that thing made me push my watch. You got flat 7. 12 is normally just gonna be you won't hit 12. But you got those type of things in stitching wise, you could say those numbers. But back to what I was saying. So you have the relative minor, and it would be basically the minor pentatonic of where you could play the minor pentatonic over that relative minor. So in the case where we did the G, B flat, C, D, F, G, you would play that same fingering on E. E, G, A, B, D, E. So again, that's E, G, A, B, D, E. That's the minor pentatonic for a G major. Well, the relative minor pentatonic for G major, which is a E minor pentatonic, and then you got the major pentatonic of G major, which is G major pentatonic. So you could, if you're listening, listen to it good. Listen to it good. They all sound the same. It's not a difference. It's not something where I can make a huge difference and say, man, that's two different scales. It's really not, because it's the same exact notes. So again, I told you G, A, B, D, E. Well, the E minor pentatonic, that's the relative minor to G major, is the same notes, just starting on E. E, G, A, B, D, E. So you got G, A, B, D, E, G, but start on E. E, G, A, B, D, E. Same exact notes, just starting in a different order. So I break that down to say, if you're playing in major keys, and this is, before I get into that, if you're playing in major keys, you basically just playing the same pentatonic scale. Don't think about it as two different pentatonic scales. Think about it for what we're doing, because again, there's a lot of concepts. Like I said last week, there's some other concepts to where you could play a major pentatonic starting on D, and it'll give a different sound of a different, you know what I'm saying? But we're just doing the ground level concept, which is playing the major pentatonic scale over grooves and over songs. So think of it as one pentatonic scale when you're playing in a major key center. We're playing in G major right now, G major. So I'm not playing, if I'm doing, let's dock it a bang. I'm not playing two different scales. I'm only thinking G major pentatonic. I'm thinking G major pentatonic. Even if I start on the E, so I'll do it again and start on E. I didn't think of that as an E minor pentatonic. I thought of that as all G major. All G major. I'm just starting my major pentatonic scale on E. And boom, that opens up a world of possibilities. It leads to because this lesson won't be long today. It's not much for me to speak on as far as pentatonics, at least in my eyes. If it is, coming on and say, well, we don't, just come in and tell me what you don't understand, and I'll try my best to either make another video explaining it or in the comment section explaining it, which is a lot of times don't go over as well. But I'll try. It leads to what I want to talk about today, because if you watch guys like Matt Ramsey, I can't play like Matt Ramsey, but he's great. He's a killer. Him, his brother, a guy named Eli. Like the younger generation really has figured out a way to play pentatonic scales so fluently and so good that it's kind of scary how they can move in and out of the pentatonic scales. It's very scary how much they can do with a simple scale, but they can play it blazingly fast. They can play it blazingly clean. They can play it how can I describe it? What's another way? Very creatively. They got different type of patterns and stuff. And it's amazing. So what you can do is, to what I'm leading to, instead of being boxed in and just playing it here and being that type of player, you can now expand it. And when I say expand it, I use this thing called pivot points. I like to know my pivot points of this any scale I'm playing, any scale I play. I want to know where to pivot, especially if I'm playing it 2 octaves or 3 octaves. You know, I'm trying to play it long portions. So if that's all the G major pentatonic. I started on B and I ended on B. So I played the F sharp in there by mistake, but yeah. So like that sounds hard. It don't sound hard. I pray it don't sound hard. But if it does sound hard, it's not hard. I just know my pivot points. So if I know here, so that's one pivot point. Then I go here. That's another pivot point. Then it's another pivot point. And what do I mean by pivot points? I mean places where you can shift or groupings. Because it's a pattern, right? Pentatonic scales are mostly played in patterns, like so they're gonna be played in some type of patterns. But if you know you're grouping it here, so if you wanted to extend it, where would you extend it? You would go boom. And then if you wanted to extend it again, look at that. Look at that. I'm just extending it. So that's the first 3 notes of the pentatonic scale. Look at that. I just extended it. I'm just extending it, man. Woo-hoo. And that's the 5th note. I mean, the 4th note of it. I'm just extending it, knowing my pivot point. So I'm here. I'm in here. So look, if you see that these are my pivot points. Here. There we go. Then we go here. Yeah. And the other one will be up here. I'm running out of room. I got a gut and stuff. I don't play up there much no more. But yeah, you got those things. So that's as far as I'll go. Let's go there.
I don't seem to be able to get your current location.
Oh, Lord. My bad, Siri. Boom. Look at that. Look at that. And look at that. That's all pentatonic scale. That's a G major pentatonic scale. I'm doing each note. So I'm just playing the G. I made my pivot points to where I can get back to G, A, B, D, E. So all 5 notes of the pentatonic scale. Those are where my pivot points will take me to. Oh, I gotta sneeze. Oh man. Boo. Ooh, I don't have no room to go up there. So I'm gonna change one for y'all. I'm gonna change one and make that my pivot point. Boom. And now we're talking. The neck has been shortened. So if I'm playing Dock of the Bay, so we know the root notes of the bass line of Dock of the Bay are G, G, A, B flat, B. Then it goes to C, walk down from C, B, B flat, A. So I want to play my pentatonic scale around those notes. So where I want to land. So let's say I want to get to B. Say I don't want to do the walk up. I want to go. So I wanted to do that. And so now I'm on A. Look at that. Now I've spiced it up a little bit. Am I doing a lot? I am doing a lot there. But I've spiced the bass line up a little bit. So and I'm back to the top. Here we go. Now I want to do some on C. And it brought me back to A. So that's all pivot points do for pentatonic scales. It takes this one scale and it helps turn it into anything. It's one scale. So my suggestion to you would be to first practice it in every pivot point. So that means you're starting on B. Your first pivot point is going to start on B on your G string and go all the way down to G on your E string. Next pivot point is going to be E on your G string all the way down to A on your E string. Next pivot point is going to be G on your G string, fret 12, all the way down to B on your E string. And then the next one is going to be A on your G string, which is fret 14, all the way down to D on your E string. Then the last one is going to be B on your G string, all the way down to E. On your E string, which is fret 12. So boom, practice those and just get those down. Non-stop. Well, non-stop is going to be hard because it's not in time. See, look at that. and then you get used to that. Get used to that, constantly moving. And then once you do that, you have your pivot points. But just getting your regular scale down up to 2 octaves. So do this. So it'll be 1. So on G, finger 1 on G. Then shift A. Finger 1 on A. Finger 4 on B. Finger 1 on D. Finger 4 on E. Finger 1 on G again. Shift again. Finger 1. Finger 4. Finger 1. Finger 1 now. Shift. And finger 4 on G. Now you've played a 2-octave major pentatonic scale. Now, say we want to play a minor one. Let's do, since we're in G, we're going to play E minor. And we're going to start on open E, open A. So open, finger 4 on G, open A, finger 2 on B, open on D, finger, let's do 1 now. You know what? Scratch that. I want to show you a different fingering, an easier fingering. So we're going to do open on E, finger 2 on G, open on A, finger 1 on B, open on D, finger 1 on E, finger 4 on G, 1, 3, then shift to 1, 4. Now you play the E minor pentatonic. Ooh, I got sneeze. I'm so tired of doing that on the mic, man. I know some of you were asking, well, why you didn't play open G? Open G doesn't set me up to shift well, in my opinion. But you could do it though. You could do it that way too. You could do it that way. So you could either do open G or you could do close with finger 4. It's up to you. Whichever one feels natural for you. I want you guys to do it to what feels natural to you. These are suggestions. These are my personal suggestions of what you should do. But if open G feels natural for you, use it. Boom. And now you got the ability to play 2 octaves. And then from there, you can do all type of patterns. You can do all type of patterns. So whatever pattern you want to do, you start doing patterns. Just start slow. Like that pattern just came to my mind while we were playing. There we go. You can do all that. You can do those patterns. You can play them in 4s. Then regular. So boom, you're opening stuff up. Then if you want to do them in fifths, ooh, how we doing in fifths? There we go. Or if I wanted to fall back to G, I could do it in G. You can do whatever you want to do once you know the scale. But from there, know the scale first. Know the scale first. And then practice them from there with whatever patterns you want to do. But we need to get the scale first. So I showed you the 2 octaves of each one. Ooh, how did I play that? Showed you both of those. Then I showed you the pivot points. Ooh. Showed you the pivot points of each one. And start from there. Start adding them in whatever song you playing. But make sure they're all. The challenge is to make sure that it's in a major key center, whatever major key center it is. So if you're in G major, A major, D major, like I said on the last lesson, once you learn a scale fingering, a pattern fingering, for the most part, it stays the same. Now that fingering I showed you on the E minor pentatonic, it would be a little different if we was in a closed position, but since we're in an open position, it's different. So I want to show it to you in another key center. Matter of fact, let's do B flat. Woo! Whoever singing Dock of the Bay this high is a cold-blooded person. But so we know the major pentatonic. That's the major pentatonic. So now, if we did a G minor, which I showed you earlier, if you scroll back on here and you'll see. But the G minor pentatonic would be finger 1, finger 4, finger 1, finger 4, finger 1, finger 4. But if I wanted to play at 2 octaves, I would use finger 3. So 1, 4, 1, 3, 1, 3. I mean 1, 1, 4, 1, 3, 1, 4. Ooh, I just played the blues scale. And boom, that's it. That's the fingering if you do it in a closed position. But granted that we're doing it in G major, it's gonna be in an open position. But if once you move key centers, do it in that closed position. So do it in those 2 keys. Do it in G major and do it in B flat. That's my challenge to you all. Like I said, this episode was gonna be long because I didn't want to be extensive with this because we could talk about different patterns, different approaches. I just want to talk about pivot points. That's what these guys are doing now. I don't even think they're probably calling them pivot points, but I'm calling them pivot points. So they're able to digga. You saw how I took that. Now I ornamented it. I did a lot of ornamenting in it then, but for the most part, I'm playing a G major pentatonic scale and just using it all the way back down to whatever note I'm trying to land on, which was G. So they're doing that type of stuff now. Put that in your bag and use it. It's been another episode of the Scatterbrain and Ray Bradford podcast. I hope you all enjoyed it. Like I always say, find your grandmama, your granddaddy, your mama, your daddy, your auntie, your uncle, your brother, your sister, your cousin, your niece, your nephew, your son, your daughter, your boo, your bae, your lover, whatever you call them. Find them. Hug them, tell them you love them. Peace out. Y'all be safe.